You're online live with Metal Match Mayhem Radio with DJ Slayer Tanya coming at you with a song, Wrath, his new song, Into the Machine.
Please leave your message for 2243.
Well, I guess you don't want to answer that call. Let's try calling PATT MAXWELL again. Did you give me the right number? Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. Trying to call PATT MAXWELL again.
Please leave your message for
Again,
22.
voicemail. Did you text him?
Yeah, she'll call you after the song, then we'll take it back.
Don't text! Sorry, people. Hold on there.
Let them know you're gonna...
Hello? Hello? You should answer now. It's ringing.
Please leave your message for 2.
Well, I guess I can't get PATT MAXWELL on the air. We'll play another song by Wrath. Payment Due. Well, we had to cut that song short. Here's PATT MAXWELL live on air. What's up, Pat?
Hey, what's happening?
Not much. What are you doing?
I'm just finishing up my final little things that I gotta do to get out of town here. And then I think I'm gonna go fishing tonight, and that's gonna conclude everything that I need to do until, Thursday afternoon when we leave.
Where are you guys? You guys going to New York, right?
Yeah, we're going to New York, and then after we play in New York, we're going to Syracuse, New Jersey, and then we'll be back in Chicago to finish it off on the 23rd
Of August?
of July.
Oh, of July. Yeah, I keep thinking it's the end of the month already.
Yeah, it's the end of the month, so we got the 19th, it's the 18th and the 19th. And that's 18th is New York, 19th is New Jersey, and then the 23rd we're at Cobra Lounge. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe New York and Chicago are both with Rattlehead.
Rattlehead, that's pretty cool. Do you wanna tell us about the new album coming out?
Yeah, it's pretty much done at the moment. The artwork and everything's done. As far as I know, we should have copies of it now for sale. That's as far as I know. At least we should have copies anyway by Friday, as is. It's 9 songs. It's been a fun album to record. It's been a long trip waiting for it to get completed and put out, but it's done. And it will be ready for the masses.
How long did it take you guys to make this album?
Well, we worked on it off and on. Realistically, it only took us about a little over a week to actually make it.
That's it?
That's it. It's like a week total. For it to actually get recorded, we recorded it in such wide space stretches that it's went on. The recording aspect was about a little bit over a year, us going in and out of the studio.
Oh, shit.
And it was just odd days and odd times in and out. Realistically, it was only about maybe 36, 38 hours, right around in there, of recording. But
Yeah.
It was just stretched out over a year and a half.
That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see you guys on your next tour because Cobra Lounge is kind of out of my way. Can't go there right now.
Well, we got plenty of stuff coming up in September and October, and we'll be back around in the northern Illinois area anyway in October.
Okay.
I believe we're playing a show at Beach Park in October.
I could make it to Beach Park.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything else I believe is pretty much Chicago and then out east. And I know we got some stuff in Indiana coming up in September, I believe. So, we got plenty of stuff in the works for putting on some really good, entertaining shows. And that's pretty much to do with that as far as where our tour is going to take us to. And it's going to take us beyond that anyway, because we're going to be playing on this album for quite a while, with dates off and on with various different bands out there.
You want to tell more about Wrath, like advertise more? You're free to do that.
So as far as Wrath is, we're kind of old school thrash, a little bit of new school flavor, but not new metal. We're definitely come from the old school of making music where you got a lot of hooks in the songs, and I know you guys got a few songs there. Hopefully you guys listen to them and like them and play them.
I already played one.
No, you played one.
Into the Machine. Into
Machine.
Machine. Yeah.
The Machine is great. If I had to pick another one off it, I would definitely say that High Tides is an absolute great one. Now, my favorite song that's going to be out on the album is the actual last song on the album called Pets Hung in Chain, which is a real high impact song as well. Very melodical, very intimate, kind of almost prog drums in the song. And it's still got that classic feel. And that one everybody will get a taste for here within the next week or so as they listen to the album. For a few people that actually got a pre-copy of the album a couple months ago, kind of an album preview, limited edition preview.
Well,
some of those people may know that song already.
Pat.
Yeah.
I know you'll save me and Dave a CD. We'll pick it up soon from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I heard you guys made new T-shirts and flasks and shot glasses.
Yes, we've got new T-shirts, flasks. We've got new shot glasses. And of course, I'm sure you guys have seen we've got pint glasses. We've got some new pins that are out too.
Pins?
That are really
Nice.
cool. Yeah, they're metal pins. They're really, really cool.
They should.
Unlike the metal patch, which the metal patch is totally different. It's a total new design. It's kind of based off the T-shirt. The T-shirt's actually different from the pins and the flask and all that, though, all the new merch. And we still got some of the old merch, too. So you can definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm still waiting to get my pin. And they look really, really cool. So
That's pretty cool. So, what instrument do you play in Wrath? You want to educate the crowd?
I play drums for Wrath. I've been playing drums for Wrath now for almost 5 years, and I love every second of it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else other than playing drums for Wrath and a few other projects that I got going on.
Do you want to talk about your past bands?
Actually, I'd rather talk about the other bands I'm kind of currently goofing around with, too.
Yeah?
I'm also playing drums for the Miners.
Miners?
We're kind of a crossover punk, sort of old school flavor. And we got some stuff coming up here pretty shortly in August. I know we're going back into the studio with the Miners and recording our full length. We should have that done by the end of August. I know we're playing at the Port Kenosha on August 23rd, along with Thunder Driver and the Fast Plants, and that's going to be a really cool show because it's an up-close and personal show. And then I also play drums for a country band called the Brothers Go Forth, which we just played last weekend down at Waukegan Beach at Swoop the Loop. And I play bass for a pop band called Full On Empty, which if you keep posted, you might see us playing around somewhere sometime soon. I believe we got a show coming up with Full On Empty in August, on August 16th, at the Burgundy Room in Waukegan.
Okay. I'll have to check those bands out.
Yeah, as far as my background, where I come from metal, period. I started off in the early 80s playing country. Mid 80s I was playing metal and punk, playing some hair stuff in the mid 80s. By the time I hit 89, I was like full blown into entrenched in thrash, and by the time the early 90s came around, I was entrenched knee deep in black metal and death metal. So, and now I've kind of come full circle, going back to my roots with punk and thrash. So,
Okay. So now coming back to your roots. Now let's talk about your roots. Now, since you've started playing drums and bass, have you managed to maintain the same fan base that you've had since you started? Have you managed to maintain the same fan base that you had since you first started till now?
I got more fans now than what I ever did when I was younger. This is a popular band. It's a band they have clean. As far as fan base goes, it varies from area to area, and there's still a lot of people out there that have no idea who I am, and that's okay. And I just like being able to go out there and kind of give a good show and kind of just create the metal and let the masses figure out that they like it themselves. If they do that.
So what age did you start playing the drums?
Was that question?
I said, what age were you when you first started playing the drums?
I actually started off on piano of all things when I was 3. I was just before I turned 4. I started taking my dad kind of drum at my first show, my dad's country band in 1979. I was 5 years old, and it's kind of history from there. Because after that, he couldn't keep me off the stage.
Well, Pat, we're like losing connection. I don't know. Let me try calling you right back.
Sorry, I'm kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll call you right back.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right.
No. Hold on. I'll come and call Pat Maxwell again because we're losing reception on the phone call. Because he's probably out and about, driving around, being away from his family. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, hold on. We're trying to call Pat Maxwell again. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, you're back. It's better now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple more questions. So, what drummers are you influenced by?
I'm influenced by just about every drummer that I've ever seen or heard play. Growing up, of course, I was influenced probably first and foremost by a drummer by the name of PATT, who was real popular in the 50s and 60s. He was one of the early double bass drummers. He played a lot of crazy jazz stuff. Growing up as a kid, I was influenced by pretty much every drummer that I ever saw play live, and a lot of drummers that I heard just listening to music from country drummers all the way, when I got into metal, Nickel McBrain was a big influence from Iron Maiden, and a very unknown drummer for the band Brutal Truth when they first started really got me into playing a lot of faster stuff. Along with Glenn Evans from Nuclear Assault, I was really into that band hardcore. Of course, Tom Hunting from Exodus, and the list goes on. I could name names for, a couple of hours on guys that, I've been influenced by.
What about Dave Lombardo?
Lombardo, I can say that I was definitely influenced by Dave Lombardo. Also, at the same time, though, the stuff that I was playing when I first heard Slayer was already very similar to what Slayer was doing at the time. And that was in,
You're talking, I was 10 years old, 1984. The first time I ever heard Slayer. I was always kind of a speed freak anyway, as far as playing fast and trying to play faster and keep everything controlled at a very fast pace. So definitely I was influenced by Dave Lombardo. I was, like I said, I've been definitely influenced by just about every drummer out there, Louis Clemente, Charlie Benitez, Louis Flack. I mean, there's a ton of guys that are out there. Even Tim Mallory, his old school stuff with MOD, and even after he went on to Overkill. So, he got influences everywhere. Man.
So, now going back to Slayer. Now, how would you consider Slayer in your life now? Are you still big into Slayer? Or...
I'm still huge into Slayer, I'm a big, huge Slayer fan. I always have been since day one.
Now tell me, in the world, who isn't into Slayer? I mean, Slayer's all over the world.
Well, I've always said that, someone who doesn't like Slayer has really never experienced Slayer.
Yeah, I've experienced Slayer. I love Slayer. I'm a Slayer fanatic.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of favorite Slayer tracks. Most of them are very old school.
Which ones?
I'm a big fan of War Ensemble. It's a very, very fast piece. I'm also a fan of Necrophobic. And my all-time favorite is, still Postmortem and Rain of Blood, played back to back. That is still, to me, the best. That was the first thing I ever heard from Slayer, and I have loved that piece ever since the day one that I've heard it.
I like the Seasons of the Abyss, Haunting the Chapel CD. I like Christ's Illusion, Divine Intervention. That's a pretty good CD, the punk version of it.
Oh yes, I like the punk album that they did. On my playlist, the entire album is on my playlist on my like I say, I've been influenced big time by Slayer and a lot of other bands. There's a ton of other bands here that were out at that time.
Yeah. Now I have a couple more questions to ask you before we go. Do you ever play any cover songs?
Oh yeah, actually, that I've ever played songs. So I've covered.
You guys play Motorhead?
We've done some Corrosion of Conformity, and we've covered more obscure bands too. Motorhead's always fun to cover. I'm always going to be a big Motorhead fan, of course. And that's another word I say, if you're not a Motorhead fan, you really haven't experienced Motorhead.
I like Motorhead.
And who in heaven's music doesn't like Motorhead? They're the old rock and roll, old school rock and roll, heavy out the way that it should be.
This is what my station's about, Metal Mash Mayhem Radio. It's all about old school metal, bringing it a new way into the world.
Exactly.
That's why I wanted Wrath on the phone, and at 6:30 I'm gonna have John Gallagher from Raven, the singer, vocals, bass player, bass. Yeah. Okay. Now I have something else to ask you. So, what bands are there that Wrath would love to tour with someday?
We would love to tour with just about anybody. We talked about doing several different dates with multiple bands, out there. There's been all sorts of things thrown out on the table as far as bands that we have the potential to play with. I'm looking really forward to playing with Rattlehead this coming up week. Going forward in the future, there's tons of us playing with numerous, old school track bands, popular and, still in the underground yet. And I look forward to playing with every one of them. So we actually give you a pinpoint on any band I have some choice I would want to actually do shows with. I would love to do, I would love to do Overkill. I would love to do, shows with Nuclear Assault, performing with any of, the old school thrash bands, would be a dream,
Yeah. Now, what advice would you give for people who want to start their own band?
Practice a lot, practice hard, and just get good at what you do as long as you stay tight. That's the main thing. It's what band is all about. It's giving a good show and performing very tight, and keeping the music current as well. And write songs with hooks, because that's what grabs people and gets them to like.
Okay. Now, how can fans gain access to your music? Do you have a website with songs?
I know that we have a website. It's as far as I know, it's radmusic.com. I know that there's also another link on it that takes you to another site by merch. And you should be able to download the songs here pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. I don't know really what all they've got going on with that in my department, but I do believe you can go to www.rathmusic.com, and I believe you can find all that there. And if it's not up there now, it should be sometime, I would think, within the next week or two. And you can also listen to Rath at BigBirdNation.com as well, and I know you can download stuff from Big Bird Nation. Download it there. Just look up the band Rath.
Okay. Is there anyone you'd like to acknowledge for what you've been through in life with your media career?
There's a lot of people, Mike Ivey's been a big part of my life. The Wayne Woodside has been a big part of my musical life. And, Mike Mitchell in Chicago. There's a lot of guys, of course, all the guys in Rath, Scott, Gary, Rob, and, of course, Scott
Davidson.
Those guys are all great. And, I was a fan of Rath before I ever became a member of Rath.
Yeah.
I will always be a fan of Rath. So, I definitely want to give them guys, definite acknowledgement.
How about your parents?
What's that?
How about your father and mother?
Yes, my father and mother have been a big musical influence in my life. They're both musicians. If it wasn't for them, I would have never started playing in the first place. My mom's father, he was also a musician.
You got a history.
There's a big musical history in my family. My dad's father played violin. Most of the people in my family are musicians. My aunt, but great, country and gospel singer. So it goes. My band lineage history or musician lineage history in the family is really cool. And of course, I always like to now in support of my own daughter, Clay, who has been very supportive of what I've done over the years since she was a little kid. So
that's good. So, any last words before we end the talk show, and I can play your songs?
Absolutely. Hope everybody enjoys the new album by Rath, Stark Raving Mad. It is a nice heavy trek to go down that road and just bang your head and thrash out each and every song, all 9 tracks. And I hope to see you guys out at a show while we're playing on the road or even local, somewhere across the United States sometime soon.
Do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
And come up and say hi to me, and we'll branch out together. And I'd like to say hi to my sick friend Monica, who's there down the street from you guys in Antioch. I hope she's feeling better soon.
Shh. Nobody knows where we live. I'm kidding.
Okay. Thank you guys for having me on your show, man.
Yeah, of course.
This has been a lot of fun.
Anybody can come on to our show anytime you want to. Just contact Dave or me. You have my number now. Save it.
All right. I will definitely let them know. I'll give you guys an update after we get back.
And good luck with fishing today. Catch me some big catfish.
I'll work on it here pretty soon.
And name it Slayer Tanya.
Alright.
Like I named that bench Wrath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, I think that's exactly where we're going to. Is to the picnic table that you tagged.
Tagged it with your band.
Exactly.
That's your spot.
Yes, and I believe that is probably where we're going to this day.
You and Mike Ivy?
Yes, me and Mike Ivy, for sure.
That's that. Well, okay. Have fun. Good luck.
Yes, thank you guys for having me on.
Of course.
Keep it metal.
Anytime. Keep it metal. Metal Match Mayhem Radio. Thank you. Bye.
We'll catch you later.
Bye. So we were just on air with PATT MAXWELL from Wrath. He's a drummer. He's been a drummer for the last 5 years. Wrath's a old school metal band back from the 80s. It's a Chicago-based band. So we're coming at you with a new song from Wrath. It's called High Tides on Metal Match Mayhem Radio. Well, hopefully you guys can hear me. That was Payment Due by Wrath. Next, we'll be coming up with another song by Wrath. Then we'll probably end the show a few minutes early tonight because I gotta prepare and get ready for John Gallagher from Ravens coming on air at 6:30 with us live. Will be our second show of the evening. Maybe we'll get another person come on live with us. Who knows? Anyways, I hope you're enjoying the Metal Mash Mayhem Radio. Again, my name is DJ Slayer Tanya, known by Slayer Kitty Tanya Ka on Facebook, and you can go like our page on Facebook, Metal Mash Mayhem Radio. You can follow me on Twitter on Slayer Tanya. You could follow me on Instagram, Slayer Tanya or Tanya Rockstar. You can follow me on MySpace too, Slayer Kitty Tanya. Anyways, now here comes the song Weakening Wounds by Wrath off the new CD. Okay, sorry, we're gonna play the song again, Weakening Wounds. Here it is. I'm gonna start it right now while I'm on air. Well, it seems like I'm having some malfunctions with my music right now. Well, anyways, the show's about to end, and now coming back on at 6:30. Make sure to tune back in at 6:30 to hear John Gallagher from Raven on air talking about his new CD, his shows. We're gonna have a nice little interview with John Gallagher. 6:30 p.m. Tune in. Central Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. Metal Mash Mayhem, rock on.